right, here we are. We're in front of All Terrain Motorsports, and this is located in Grand Junction, Colorado. I just talked to the service manager. They were able to get me in while I was on the road. They were booking about 4 weeks out, so it was very much appreciated that they were able to do that. Had an excellent conversation. Ben, what was the guy's name? Just talked with Michael Bruno. He's the Indian representative of this dealership. This is one of the biggest dealerships in Colorado. They just expanded 10,000 feet. Ben and I walked around the store, and look who they represent. Can-Am, Skidoo, Sea-Doo, Kawasaki, Polaris, Yamaha, Suzuki, Husqvarna, Triumph, Indian, of course. And, sometimes you think with big dealers, you're going to get that big dealer feel of hurry up, get in, get out. But man, we were treated like gold here. So I just got to give a shout out to Michael, talking to us, helping us with our routes, giving us some great ideas over in Moab. And I also want to give a shout out to the service managers for getting us in, with only a few days notice because we were traveling. So the Tiger's good for another 6,000 miles. Hopefully that'll get me home. And so if you're in Grand Junction, Colorado, check out All Terrain Motorsports, serving the general Colorado area. Well, we are headed out of Ridgeway, Colorado. I believe it's day 18. I'll check that. The days are starting to melt into one another. But we are headed to the deserts of Moab. Extreme heat and a completely different view from what we've seen over the last 4 days or 5 days. These mountains. Simply put, most beautiful place I've ever been. Some of the toughest riding I've ever attempted on such a big adventure bike. I'm sure there's guys out there with dual sports that, do those passes and, it's just an easy day out for them. For me, it was not. It was difficult. But the payoffs, every time the payoffs were worth it. Just to sum up I think Ben told me, how many passes did we do, Ben? 10 passes for sure, maybe even 12. The hardest, of course, being Black Bear. You guys saw that video. That was out of control. I'm going to summarize this right now as far as the Tiger 900 goes and doing passes like that. Going up, no problem. This thing has the torque, the power, the altitude didn't affect it. You could just cruise up those switchbacks in first gear. And I got to put it bluntly, we beat the shit out of these bikes for 4 days. And of course, the video doesn't show how rough the roads are or how steep the climbs were. We tried to do it with our dash cams to give you a sense. But both bikes held up. One thing, just one thing I would change on this motorcycle. It's the gearing if I were doing just passes. If I were doing passes, I would go down at least a tooth in the front and maybe a couple in the back, because engine braking was non-existent. I had none. And due to that, I was riding the back brake so much I overheated it. I just was on the back brake trying to go down, trying to keep this behemoth from sliding down the gnarly sections. And, that's probably, if I came back out here on this bike, that's what I would do. But that's the only time. Just super steep downhills is where I would have made a change. Everything else, keep the bike exactly as it is. The heaviness was an issue, especially lifting it. But we were able to maintain. Ben lifted the Tenere on a downhill, and we both were able to do it. Now, we helped each other when we could, and also the Jeep people, as I said before, are awesome. They gave us a hand. But the bikes, Yeah, would I have rather been on my Husky 501 on those passes? Hell yeah. A million times over. It would have been definitely more enjoyable, but these bikes are capable. We'll be back with more today. We're going to go over Moab. We could get there in like 2.5 hours on this Route 62 to 191. And again, we're in Colorado. We'll be in Utah today. But we decided we can't check in till 3, so we're going to take a little side route. And it's route, whatever route it is, we're going to make a left up here somewhere. And we're just going to get our last taste of the mountains until we get to Utah. You can see the as we're departing Colorado, the landscape changes yet again. Starting to see the rock formations, that famous red dirt following a creek. It's Friday. It's Friday. And we're behind a few vehicles, but Ben and I just said, screw it, this is fine. Let me give an update. I'm in the mood to do it now, how we're feeling. You know, 18 or 19, I'll figure it out. I think it's day 18. I'm going to go with that. You know, there hasn't been a day that we didn't ride the motorcycles yet. And I don't feel none the worse for wear. Now, yesterday was easy because it was just Route 50. It was boring, if anything. You have to fight fatigue and falling asleep because just a drone of the engine going 75, 80 miles an hour, you're just, oh, God. But I could ride this at 55 miles an hour all day long, and it just never gets old for me. But I think we both say that we're feeling pretty darn good. And I think if we would have camped our old bodies, I don't think that would have been the same. I have no regrets about not camping. I'm sorry, you purists, you guys are the men. You're the men. If you're going camping every night and you do this on the small bike, Godspeed, man. That's awesome. But I gotta say, I have enjoyed, because it is a vacation for us too, the hotels and the eateries that we found. It's all really added to the trip. But every day, today will be probably a shorter day, maybe 5-6 hours on the bike. But if it's roads like this, I am digging it. It's another random road. We're on Highway 145, leaving Colorado. And this is the kind of road you get. Hang to the left if you're afraid of heights. The one thing, we can actually smell smoke right now, but it's pretty clear. It's just a light haze. We actually had ashes on our bikes, on the covers this morning, like very, very light. But me and the legend and I, we were just talking, where's this coming from? You know, is it from Oregon? Is it from the fires out east? You know, I know the weather comes from the west, so just hard to say. I'm wondering how many other viewers, when they're riding roads like this, look for race lines. You know, where you're looking for your entry point, trying to see the apex up ahead. Where am I going to accelerate? I wouldn't be surprised if we see a sports bike come just flying by here. Utah, baby, Utah. All right, you got to try something different. We're going to try the High Desert Cafe here in Monticello, Utah. Let you know how it turns out. Lunch at the High Desert Cafe was a success. I had the fish tacos. I heard Moab's known for its seafood. Yep. Okay, we're at the amazing Hole in the Rock, and we're going to give it the Clark Griswold. Yep. Ben, you good? Yeah. All right. Oh my. Yeah, I got some work to do in this stuff. I hope so. I think we are. Ben just asked, are we headed out? I can see how easy it would be to get lost in here. I'm sure there was another way into that, but I think I'd rather do it unloaded, unburdened.